What's up, guys? Welcome back to Seth's Custom Creations. Today I'm going to be showing you how I flatten my end grain cutting boards using a router sled. So basically how a router sled works is you stick your router inside this jig that you build with a track that can go left and right, and it can also slide forward and backward. You put your cutting board down in here, stick a 1-inch straight bit in the router, and then move it, and then you can go over the entire thing. It's kind of slow and tedious, but it is fairly fast. And then you just go over the entire cutting board, and it flattens it to whatever depth you have your router bit. So our candidate for the router sled demonstration is this very, very nice end grain cutting board. It's got maple, cherry, walnut, very nice. I also put a cherry border around the whole thing. But you can't run this through the thickness planer, and that's why we're using the router sled. But before we even put our cutting board in the router sled, we have to put a bit in our router. It doesn't really matter the size of your bit. You could go with a 1/4-inch straight bit, 1/8 inch straight bit, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, whatever. Just remember that the bigger the bit is, the faster it'll go, but you might need to make 2 passes since it's going to be hogging out a lot of material. So I'll just put a 1/2 inch straight bit is what I'm going to go with this time around. It's also good to check to make sure that your cutting board is flat before you stick it in the router sled, because if you do and there's a little bit of a wobble, it's a little bit crooked, the router will unevenly cut the top, and that's not good. So I know my table saw is flat. I put it on my table saw. No rock this way, no rock this way, so we're good. If it does rock, just put some shims under one end. So now what you want to do is find the lowest point on your cutting board, which for me is this edge, and you want to take your router and you want to set the bit right on top of that edge like that, lock it in place, and then move it off of the cutting board a little bit, and then move it down just a microscopic amount so it'll take off everything. And then you can just flip your router on, and since this is gliding across this perfectly level, it'll keep the router straight and it'll cut all over the top of the cutting board evenly. Just gone over the entire cutting board with the router, and as you can see, you can still see the lines from the router. Now it's not raised at all, but you can just kind of see where the bit kind of went down every time. So a little bit of sandpaper in the random orbit sander will take that out real fast. So guys, thanks for checking out the router sled video. I'll put some pictures of the final result of the cutting board right after this. I just want to thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next week.